I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Actually, it's it's really no secret at all. I really miss my studio apartment. After moving into this one-bedroom apartment a little over a year ago, I have to say I still have quite a soft spot for my days in my precious little studio apartment. Let's just take a moment and pay our respects for the old girl with a little B-roll compilation. Okay, now that I've paid tribute to my old studio apartment of yore, let's talk about other people's studio apartments. In this video, I'm gonna share some awesome studio apartment Instagram accounts I've found so that you can walk away with some solid studio apartment inspiration for your own space. Just because I don't live in a studio apartment anymore doesn't mean I can't live vicariously through those who do. And if you're new here, my name is Steffi, and on this channel I share small apartment styling tips and cozy living inspiration. So if you're into that kind of thing, hit subscribe and the bell so that you are notified whenever a new video goes up. So the first studio we're gonna look at today is from I Am Goino. By the way, I apologize in advance for any names or Instagram handles that I mispronounce. But this studio comes all the way from Tokyo, Japan, and it is so cool. So this account does a really good job of creating a sense of cohesiveness with a warm color palette while also keeping things pretty simple. Like, he does a really good job of creating a sense of coziness in his space without a ton of clutter. For example, look at the view of his bed. This section of his studio apartment is it feels so lush and it feels so warm and cozy, but if you look at it, there's not a lot of objects in here. So it's through his use of lighting and his use of textures that he creates a sense of coziness and warmth without a ton of objects. I love his bedspread. It gives the space a little bit of a cool, earthy boho vibe. I love his use of a large floral or plant. Looks like it's just 3 stems, and it creates a sense of height and visual interest, again, without clutter. Another thing that I love about this studio is he has a little bit of a sense of playfulness in here. He has his little Bert and Ernie dolls over in the corner, and even though those are not technically like stylish accessories, they're definitely in line with what I talk about on this channel, which is finding ways to incorporate your personality, the things that you like, your memories, you know, the things that make you you, incorporating those things into your decor in a fun, playful way. And this apartment is a perfect example of how when you make the whole space feel cohesive and stylish and like there is a specific point of view happening, that's when these little personality details can really shine. That's when they feel like they're being intentionally used as decor rather than just an afterthought. Again, if you have the rest of your styling in your studio apartment together like this guy does, that's when these little personality pieces shine. And if you take a look at the before and after of this studio apartment, it just goes to show the power of good lighting, a cohesive color palette, and the use of texture and pattern. The next studio apartment I'm sharing with you comes from Girl Gone City. So one thing that's really awesome about this particular studio is Girl Gone City has created a very smart layout for her studio. I love the way she has positioned her couch right next to her bed. I guess I'm a little biased because I did the same thing with my studio, but I think that this particular configuration where the couch is running parallel to the bed is actually a very overlooked option by a lot of studio dwellers. And it works so well in her particular space. And this is a great Instagram account to follow because it looks like she gives actual tips and is actually creating content around her studio apartment. So I think you'll actually find some helpful advice by following her. Her particular aesthetic is great inspiration if you love like a nice, clean and airy vibe, a very calming aesthetic. Like when I look at her photos, I just feel a sense of, you know, it's that exhale feeling when you look at a space. And the way she's able to create this is through her color palette. She has a calming green sectional sofa and then just a white bedspread. And then in terms of accessories, she has a really pretty use of plants and natural looking materials in her little credenza and in her floor lampshade. This is just a great inspo account for anyone who likes those more organic, calming, serene vibes in a space. The next Instagram account I'm going to share with you is called Tiny Palais. Is that how you pronounce it? Tiny Palace? Tiny Palais. So this is a brand new Instagram account. There aren't that many posts, but I definitely think this is worth a follow. Like she only started this account 3 months ago, so I'm excited to see what she does. And for someone who just moved into their studio apartment like 3 months ago, her living room is already looking really chic. I love what she's doing with her color palette already. I love that she's using 2 complementary colors. So we have like a peachy pink on the wall, and then we have a little teal-ish blue in the couch. That's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about your color palette, is think about how you can use complementary colors, colors that you wouldn't necessarily immediately think go together, but according to the color wheel, which is something you can use to figure out which colors are complementary to each other, those 2 colors totally do go together. And what I love about this particular color palette is not only does she use 2 colors that really complement each other, but it's also a very unified color palette so far. The decorative pillow she has on the couch reflects the combination of the bluish family and the reddish pinky family. The little cushion reflects the wall color, and then even right down into the rug are a series of bluish, grayish, pinky peach colors. So this is an example of when a lot of thought has been put into a color palette where things just coordinate together like a beautiful symphony. And like I said, she's only just getting started. So definitely give this Instagram account a follow because I have a feeling it's only gonna get better from here. And the direction I think I see her going, especially based on this Pinterest photo that she included in her grid, the direction I think she's going is this kind of cool, vintagey, soft, feminine vibe. So I'm excited to see what she does. The next Instagram account I'm going to talk about is 20 square meters. How many square feet is 20 square meters? I'm gonna look it up. Oh, 20 square meters is 215 square feet. So this Instagram account is definitely working with a true tiny studio. So any of you who are living in a really tiny studio, this is definitely one to follow. And this is another brand new Instagram account. She too only just started posting 3 months ago. And so this is definitely one to watch. And what I love about what she's done with her space so far is it already has this like really cool, eclectic, artsy vibe about it. And you actually have a lot going on here without it feeling like a lot going on. It doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel cluttered. It feels very curated and deliberate. I would say that she has a recurring accent color of red throughout her space, so that use of red immediately creates a sense of cohesiveness in her space. I've said it before and I will say it again, repetition is your friend, especially repetition of colors. If you pick one accent color and just simply repeat it over and over again throughout your small space, that small action alone will create instant cohesiveness. And that's exactly what she's done by repeating the color red. I also love her use of wall art. It gives the space this sort of artsy gallery vibe about it. It's interesting and kind of quirky, and it's the kind of art that people would ask questions about when they come into the space. They're like conversation pieces. And anytime you can implement a piece of decor that starts a conversation with your guests and basically acts as a way for them to get to know you better is a good thing in my book. And then probably the most unique and special thing about her apartment is this giant mirror wall that she has. I'm curious about whether she put that up herself or if it came with the space, because if she did this herself, it is brilliant. What an excellent way to simultaneously make a big statement while also using the age-old mirror trick for creating the sense of more space. And the final studio apartment I found on Instagram that I'm going to talk about is from Fadyev Studio. Fadyev Studio. Now, this Instagram account is definitely a mix of her apartment and then more like fashion-y and lifestyle-y stuff. But let me tell you, it all is inspiration. A cute outfit can inspire a room and vice versa. So all of this stuff is linked. And you never know where you're gonna find inspiration. So I personally love it when an account fuses multiple creative expressions. So one of the things I love about this apartment is it's cozy with a cool, laid-back vibe. There's a sense of ease and lack of pretension with this girl's decor. It just simply looks cool and comfy. And this particular studio apartment makes really good use of shelving as a divider. Now, I've said it so many times, I am a firm believer that a studio apartment does not need a divider, but I really like what she's done here because it's open shelving. It doesn't completely close off the bedroom area from the rest of the apartment, and it does create that sense of division. So if you're someone who's living in a studio and you really do want a sort of divider situation, this is a great example of a good way to do it. And I definitely recommend really scrolling back on this account because she's changed up her decor a few times. Like she's changed up her bedding. She was doing a little bit of a fairy light situation at one point. And I really like seeing people change things up, probably because I never change things up. Like once I figure out a decor situation that I really like, I tend to stick to it because I'm a creature of habit. So I do like living vicariously through other people switching up their stuff. I also want to point out her kitchen and this, I think it's IKEA, this IKEA island thing. I saw this in IKEA last time I was there and I loved it. And I think it's such a great thing to buy for a small kitchen where you need additional storage space and you also want to create a little island moment in your kitchen. I actually just like can't stop scrolling this girl's account. She has so many pretty pictures, not just of her apartment, but her cute outfits and like really yummy looking food. Like I would say that this account is just an all around inspiring account. So definitely give it a follow. All right, so those were the inspiring studio apartments that I found on Instagram. I hope you'll give them a follow. I will link to each of them in the description below. And I hope that after looking through them with me, you walk away with some little ideas for your own studio apartment. Let me know in the comments below, do you live in a studio apartment? And if you do, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know how your studio apartment life is going for you and how you like to decorate it to make it feel like not just a rental apartment, but also like a home. And remember, your apartment is destined to be pretty and you are pretty powerful.